So now we're going to go ahead and move on with our next presenter, ARC Learning. And so ARC Learning at this time, feel free to share your screen and take it away.
Yes, thank you. 1 minute, I'm sharing the screen. Okay. Can you all see it?
Okay, can we start?
We don't see your screen, you guys.
No.
See it. It's just black, a black screen.
I see it.
I see it.
Let me see.
We saw it on our end, Stephanie. Yeah, we saw it.
It is just me. Okay, go ahead.
What about now?
Yes, it's there.
Okay, perfect.
Hello, everyone. My name is Natalia.
And I'm Mauricio.
Hi, I'm Sabah.
And we are ARC Learning, where you can augment your possibilities. So every student has a different way of learning and processing information. Most often, educators are using inefficient and non-engaging applications to teach their students. In 2020 alone, 75% of students became less engaged once we switched to online learning. This led to a lack of engagement and ultimately a decrease in educational retention. This is why we created ARC Learning. ARC Learning is an augmented reality application that will increase student engagement and performance in the classroom, while ultimately enhancing their learning experiences. Our goal is to augment their possibilities. So some benefits of using an interactive augmented reality application include better understanding of advanced concepts, improved creativity, increased engagement, as well as a personalized education. We would like to target school districts as our starting market. They could purchase our subscription plan that includes our software and hardware and have their educators and students use them in class. Based on our research, providing them with the opportunity of collaborating with their classmates and participating in hand-on group projects, as well as interacting with 3D rendered objects, can skyrocket the engagement level of the users while enhancing their educational.
In 2019, the augmented reality educational technology market was in the US about $9.3 billion. The global education apps market is expected to grow to $46.88 billion between the years of 2020 and 2024. So if we're a company can control 1% of the US market in 5 years, we can place our yearly income over $90 million a year. Expanding to adjacent markets can drastically increase these numbers as well. Our main competitors are Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Google Classroom. Our program uses augmented reality, which is a concept not used by any of these video conferencing calling companies so far. ARC Learning is different because it will analyze the room that you are at, and it will combine the class features such as the host presentation in a determined point in space in your room and fixed collaborational spaces for group activities, even to have your own classmates standing at a fixed point in your house, making it possible for the student to interact one-on-one with their classmates. We believe that this will be a fully immersive experience not offered by our competitors. So for funding, we base our data on the national employment average salaries, assuming we need experts in their fields to help with development, maintenance, advertising, and manufacturing of our product. We think that it is possible to get at least 25 school districts in Texas out of 1,029 by our first year to purchase a product, which represents roughly 1 million streaming hours per day of our service. This will put us over the break even by the 9th month, which is why we will sell yearly subscriptions to the service. Our team manager is Natalia de la Garza, our savvy engineer is Subedakshmi Mandakapa, our entrepreneur is Jem Hernandez, and myself, Carlos Trevino, are the marketer of our project. We want to thank Dr. Vargas, Dr. Adams, and Ms. Catherine Dick for their unparalleled support. So with that, do you guys have any questions?
What is your unique advantage over the competition?
Well, our advantage over the competition is the actual engagement of the students. So based on surveys from 2020, students were 82% less engaged in their online classes than on in-person classes. So actually interacting again and mimicking the online learning process of in-class learning will actually make the students much more engaged with the class and they will learn better.
What will you do to make them more engaged?
Well, usually the example that we had from UTRGV was the chemistry lab sessions. For example, another 3-hour lecture is very boring for our students and they're not learning as much as you could learn in a lab. So for example, what we want with this app is to actually have benches where you can interact and work with augmented reality chemicals and perform experiments. So the student can actually be way more engaged in what they're doing and have a better learning experience.
In addition, I wanted to mention the app itself, during a particular class session, it would have polls and quizzes within the app. Students are more engaged. And at the same time, the teachers can create a more engaging environment for the students. At the same time, students can interact with other students, like a social media, and then they can put their profile pictures up and then chat with other classes as well.
I think your projections are way over optimistic.
Oh, it is, but actually, like we can sign yearly contracts with up to 20, I think 25 school districts just in Texas, which is the market that we want to start with. We can actually like generate competition against big companies like Microsoft and Zoom. I know it's optimistic, but we think it's doable.
So the sales cycle for K through 12 is very long and arduous. Have you considered, and especially when LMS systems basically dominate the top two, dominate the whole K through 12 system in this country, have you thought about just adding on to existing systems?
We could actually. We are having thinking of getting this idea to companies like Dell, which can sell this idea to Zoom and just make a merger kind of thing with current video conference project that with current video conferencing companies that actually have the resources to do something like this.
I have one question. I don't know.
How will your augmented reality differ from what is currently being done in labs, such as simulations, where students are able to actually move around equipment, etc.?
Well, the main difference with a program like Oculus, for example, is that this is actually a streaming service, right? So we will be streaming data from point to point in a conference, right? But the issue here is that rendering a complete simulation is super heavy for our current internet capabilities. So actually just making some renderization in spaces can actually, like the streaming data compares to the one that is being used now. And that's pretty important because I guess 20 years from now, yes, it will be possible to make a complete simulation to be streamed from point to point, but now it isn't the case. So I think starting with augmented reality is actually a safest choice.
I have a quick question. So you generated this idea for classroom environments, right? But did you consider aspects about, as far as learning environments in a tutoring environment for tutors and students?
It could work in any case, but we need to write the programs and the renderization before class. So for now, it's just for like premeditated lab sessions. I'm not sure about tutoring services.
It's something to think about, I think, in the future, maybe for yourselves, just, as part of the Learning Center, I actually work for the UTRGV Learning Center. I'm the administrative assistant. I can't speak on behalf of my boss, but we're constantly, and when we adapted to the COVID, pandemic, we converted to online tutoring and we chose Zoom as our platform because it was the friendlier version of to use. Well, not Zoom, I'm sorry. We have Blackboard Collaborate. That's what we're using. We couldn't use Zoom. So we're constantly looking for other learning opportunities virtually for the future besides Blackboard Collaborate, or, just to see what else helps enhance the learning experience virtually for the students. So.
Yes, a tutor could reproduce the work that is actually seen in class. So
Your mic's not on.
Okay, guys, I think that means that we're out of time.